Friends, welcome to my channel. I am Sonique and I've got a little unboxing here of something I'm really excited about, and it's from Linda Hill. Little clue there with the pomegranate, and this is a new deck, and you might have seen on some of my videos that I've actually been featuring a little bit the Red Seeds Tarot by Linda Hill. And this here is the Red Threads Tarot. So, yeah, I ordered it yesterday, I think it was, and it's here today. That was so fast. And then when I saw where it came from, it isn't very far from where I live. So that is why, I presume. She's in Totnes in Devon, and I am in Cornwall. So we're not too far apart. So let's just try and get into this lovely package, which is very well, it's very well packaged up. So give me a second, I'll just unbox it. Okay, so I've got the outer wrapping off, and here we have the box, and it says the red seeds, and we have a red thread. So there's a clue to what's inside there. Right, let's open it up. It's like Christmas, isn't it, when you open a box? I love it. Okay, so what do we have? We've got a card here. Hashtag the Red Threads Tarot. Okay, there's some words around here. So what it's, okay. Then it seemed like falling into a labyrinth. We thought we were at the finish, but our way bent round, and we found ourselves, as it were, back at the beginning, and just as far from that which we were seeking at first. And there we have the labyrinth. And this here symbol is engraved in quite a few places in Cornwall. And yeah, it's really interesting to actually just trace it. Especially if there's a place between Boscastle and Tintagel, where there's some on the walls, on old buildings, dilapidated old buildings. Yeah. Might go and have a look at those in the next few weeks. If I do, I'll video it and share it. Looks like we have a tea bag here. The Red Threads Tarot. We've got another red thread, another labyrinth. Dittany of Crete. This, oh, it's a herb. This herb, it says, this herb is therapeutic and aromatic plant that only grows wild on the mountains in Crete. Gosh. I wonder what it smells like. Ooh, that's a lovely touch, isn't it? Oh, look, it's got a labyrinth on a red string. You can see that. It's quite small, but put it against. There we go. Isn't that lovely? Little labyrinth. There's some information on the back of the card here about Ariadne and Dionysus, and this is what the deck is all about. I'm just smelling the herbs. Isn't that interesting? It's only found out. Look. So we've got the Red Threads Tarot, and a quote there. This is a quote by William Stafford, and it says, There's a thread you follow. It goes among things that change, but it doesn't change. People wonder about what you are pursuing. You have to explain about the thread. But it's hard for others to see. While you hold it, you can't get lost. Tragedies happen. People get hurt or die. And you suffer and get old. Nothing you can do can stop time's unfolding. You don't ever let go of the thread. The Red Threads Tarot. And what is this one? Dittany was one of the plants that was used in the Minoan Crete. Dittany seeds were found during excavations in the royal palaces of Knossos, while a depiction of the plant itself adorns patterns of pottery and murals of the time. Dittany was considered a healing herb by the Minoans and used to ease childbirth, heal wounds, and reverse poisoning. It was regarded as a love herb. The Red Threads Tarot is accompanied by Dittany tea, also containing lavender, aronia berries, nettle, sage, thyme and lemongrass, alongside a charm bag filled with pure Dittany of Crete, with love. That's a lovely touch, isn't it? I don't drink tea myself. I really have never been a tea drinker. So I just think I might just keep that with the deck, actually. So this is the information card about what the deck is all about. So you're welcome to pause and read that. So I just want to get into the deck. And there's a book that comes with this as well. So it comes in its own bag. It's a tote bag. So just like the Red Seeds Tarot, I'll move this out of the way a second. Just like the Red Seeds Tarot, Linda has gifted us a bag for our deck. Ooh. Let's move a few things out of the way. Alrighty, so we have a book. So it's very recognisable of Linda's art, very much so. Linda's style of artwork. What else is in the bag? I can feel something. Oh, another one. Another tea bag. So the same as that one is in the bag. So we have two, one in the box, one in the bag, and then we have the deck itself. The Red Threads Tarot, Ariadne and Dionysus. Okay. So, isn't it wonderful when you find a tarot deck creator in your own country? It's refreshing, really. So many decks that I love from across the pond, and it's just that the shipping, as we all know, is so expensive, so prohibitive. So the Red Threads Tarot, anyway. 5,000 years ago, an advanced Bronze Age civilization was founded and became known as Minoan Crete. At the very heart of this society was nature, which was honoured in the form of the Great Mother Goddess and was highly revered by the people in their everyday life, ritual and artwork. This tarot will traverse the myth of Ariadne and Dionysus. You have heard the call. There is so much for you to encounter in the labyrinth, for this is where you find shadow and light, tears, sadness and joy, wounds and love. You may feel challenged and overcome at times, excited too, but always full of love and devotion. Walk the pathways of initiation where you will find unity and wholeness. The labyrinth awaits your presence. So yeah, this is an indie deck. And this is on the back here. It's pretty much the same as it says on the back there, apart from a quote from Linda. And it says, mixed in the rubble of stones and earth, fragments of painted pots appeared. Brightly coloured mosaics, golden seals with dancing figures, necklaces of bees and butterflies, urns decorated with flying dolphins, serpents and spiraling flowers, tiny statues of bulls, large bulls' horns, and statues of goddesses, which merged together composed a culture of joyousness, grace and elegance. centered for hundreds of years around the worship of a great goddess. Yeah. So that looks like that's from another source, actually. That's from The Myth of the Goddess, Anne Baring and Jules Cashford. Okay, so the book has 185 pages. No, yes, 186 pages with a bibliography at the back, which is always useful, and the references as well. A full colour picture of each card, including the minors. What we got at the front? Acknowledgements. Oh dear. Oh, okay. To my mother Jean, who died the 1st of January this year. And there's a prayer here to the Mother Goddess. A prologue about the Minotaur. We have some contents. So my mythic journey, Linda's mythic journey, an introduction, the myth, the civilization, the Minoan civilization, the tarot structure, introduction to the arcanas, the major, the minor, and then we have, so for earth we have discs, fire we have the red threads, blades for air and cups for water, and then that bibliography and reference. And it's the same sort of colourway as the Red Seeds Tarot. We've got a quote here from Joseph Campbell and a quote from Christine Downing. Carl Jung, and then this Howard Suspordus. Ariadne Awakening by Lee Hunt. An introduction, the myth. Okay. Homer. What about the Minoans here? Their culture, their wealth. Okay, so we're breaking it down here. Okay, so they've broke it down. These are the majors and their associations within the myth. So the Fool is Ariadne themselves. Also appears in the Lover's card, in the Wheel of Fortune card, in the Hanged Priestess or Hangman card, in Rebirth or Judgment. So the same figure appears in several cards to illustrate the tarot meaning behind the myth. And the symbols on the cards, they are written the way the Minoans wrote numbers. So it's a little bit different. It did the same in the Red Seeds Tarot, actually. Wrote these down so you could understand what they meant on the card. So the linear A symbols have been used as tattoos on the archetypal images. And then the advanced number system used on the cards. So that's useful. Look at that. Ooh, what an image. Okay. So about the majors and the minors, and then we're actually into the cards themselves. So this is Ariadne, the Fool, the Dancer. The only way to make sense out of change is to plunge into it, move with it, and join the dance. And then we have a tagline here, I am the dance. So we go into the myth, then we go into the journey. And for the Fool, this is your wild card. And that does the same for each card, but at the beginning of each suit it actually goes into the suit's elements, breaks that down, breaks down this here symbol, the Labris double axe for the blades and the air elements. So it breaks it all down. The sword holds the energy of the bull god and the divine masculine. And then we go into each card, and exactly the same, the myth, the journey, and a tagline. So for the Ace of Blades, I am reason. So that's really useful. So yeah, all the way through. So that's the book for the Red Threads Tarot. So let's take a look at the cards. We'll take a look at the cards. Alrighty, so this is the box. They're quite big cards. In fact, they're the same size as Linda's other decks. The Red Seeds Tarot and also the Oracles. There's 3 Oracles. I'll just pause this one actually and put them side by side. So just for comparison, I'll take one of the Oracle decks. Again, it's in its own tote bag. There are 3 of these. I think this is the first one. But as you can see, oh, we've got another one. Oh, look at that, that's a surprise, isn't it? Yeah, we've got a herb bag inside the deck. Oh, this is a wonderful thing, isn't it, about indie creators. They go that extra mile. So this is one of the Oracle decks, and as you can see, same size as the tarot, which is really useful. Like I say, there's 3 of these decks, Red Seeds, Oracle 1, 2 and 3, and there is a Red Seeds Tarot deck as well. Same art style, beautiful art style. So that's, yeah, just to show you a little comparison in size. I wanted just to show you that it's actually the same size. Alright, so I'm going to, it's just a plain white box. Let's just have a look at the cards together, shall we? So we begin with the Dancer. As I said, this is Ariadne themselves. And we've got tattoos here. Let's just zoom in. I'll just do a silent walkthrough of the cards. So that was the major arcana. Now, Linda begins the minors with the disc suit. And on the Ace of Discs, this is a very important symbol here. The earth element is the Minoan civilization themselves, so that's what the suit is about. And this was an important artifact that was actually found in 1908 by Arthur Evans in Crete. And it's known as the Phaistos disc. So I'll just read from the book here. It was found within the ruins of the palace of Phaistos and is dated to 1700 BC. The Bronze Age clay disc was impressed on both sides and stamped with 242 symbols. The 5.9-inch disc is known for showing the earliest printed text that represented an early writing system. Symbols on the disc show human figures, plants and animals, and tools such as arrows, axes, weapons and shields alongside unknown symbols. The disc is read spirally starting from the edge of the disc. So we'd start here, and it looks like a labyrinth, doesn't it? Let's trace it. Hold on, we go in here. So we're going to go around here, all the way through to the centre, just like a labyrinth. Gareth Owens, a dedicated archaeologist living in Crete, has devoted many years of research into deciphering the Phaistos disc. He and many others believe that the disc is a religious prayer to the Great Mother Goddess. Minoan writing was named Linear A, and still to this day has not been fully deciphered. And then it goes on about the soul journey and the meaning of the card. So I'll just go through the disc suits now. When we get to the court cards, there are different systems or different names in this deck for those court cards, which isn't explained in the book. I've just had a quick look through and I can't see an explanation for why this is. But normally, I mean, we can see in the first 10 cards, they follow quite closely a Rider-Waite-Smith interpretation. Very much so. I mean, here on our 5 of discs, we're sitting with the rats, very despondent. But yeah, with the court cards, it's a little bit of a different way of looking at them, I think. So we start off with the goddess of discs, which is bird. Then we have the god of discs, which is Dionysus. Then we have the goddess of discs, Poppy. And then the goddess of discs, snake. So we've got 3 goddesses and 1 god in the pentacles suit, or the coin suit, or as it's named here, the discs. So that's a little bit of a divergent aspect to the deck, and that divergent actually happens in the other suits as well, so I'll show you those as we go through. Okay, so that was the suit of discs. So next is the suit of threads. It says the suit holds the energy of the red knot that Minoan goddesses and priestesses wore around their waist. The threads of the knot may have been unravelled in rituals expressing the never-ending cycle of life, death and rebirth. In the myth, Ariadne gave Theseus her red threads, enabling him to be guided safely back through out of the labyrinth. And then it goes on to talk more about that myth, which I won't go into. So let's start off with the Ace of Threads. A very fiery energy, so we can easily see it corresponds to fire. So when it comes to the court card in the Threads suit, then they are all witches. So we have Circe. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce these names, to be honest, but yeah. Crete, Witch of Threads, Medea, and Persephone. So those are, as you can see, that one's aligned to the moon there. And we have a crow. These images are amazing. In fact, I'm actually at the moment just started reading Madeline Miller's Circe. I'll just show you the book. Yeah, so this is the book that I'm currently reading, Madeline Miller Circe. And I actually did start reading it as a library book originally, but I'm sort of rereading it. I've bought the actual book now and I'm rereading it, and it's one of the reasons I've actually wanted this Red Threads book and deck, is because, yeah, of my interest through reading this one. So yeah, that's a little bit of background of why, one of the reasons that I bought this deck. Another reason being I actually really like Linda Hill's work. As I said, I've had that Red Seeds Oracle for a while, which is the Persephone and Demeter myth, and oh, so good, so good. Right, so what's the next suit we're looking at? If you look at the side of this book, it's actually colour coded here. So there we go, we have the majors, the discs, the threads, and now we're going on to the blades suit. So let's have a little look at the blade suit. And we start with the ace here. Which is a very interesting depiction. I just saw three things there, but I'll leave you to see what you see. So let's have a look in the book about the ace. And like I said, this is, so the air element is all about the bris, the sword and the bull. So it's a complete theme for each suit. So the Ace of Blades is the horns of consecration. And it says the myth. The horns of consecration was a ubiquitous, important religious symbol in Minoan Crete. This symbol shows the rising of the sun and the moon, symbolising and integrating the goddess and the bull god. Flowers and laborious axes were often placed between the horns. The horns of consecration were built in many sizes and often placed on the roofs of palaces and on tombs and shrines. The earth goddess's consort was her bull god attribute known as Cretan Dionysus. He was a sacrificial god who died every year in the winter to be reborn again in the spring. So that's quite similar to the Persephone and Demeter myth as well, isn't it? For the Minoans, this would have probably involved the slaying of a bull in ritual, which took place every year. The Minoans honoured bulls in their everyday life, religion and mythology. So, yeah, Linda provides a lot of history, a lot of knowledge, a lot of background information to the cards. And so, yeah, the book is just, from what I can see so far, amazing. Okay, so let's just go through the blade suit one by one. So in the court cards for the blades, just get them out, we start with the youth. Then we have the prince, the king, and the queen. Okay, so finally, let's look at the cup suit. So the water element is a love story. We are born from water. Water is the container of our soul. So it says, the Minoans honoured all forms of water, the pools, the springs, the rivers, the storms, and the sea. Minoan artworks contain the ubiquitous spiral decorations which symbolise the Minoans' reverence of the ocean, which was the realm of their mother goddess. This is interesting to me as well because I am currently also reading another book, which I'll just quickly show you. It's this one, A Sea Witch's Companion, Lavana Morgan. Yeah, because I actually live a 5-minute walk from the sea, then this one has really captured my attention. And ways that I can work with the moon and with the sea energy is always welcome. So yeah, I'm quite intrigued to see what this deck says about the suit of water here. There's a lovely quote from Mary Oliver here, which says, I went down in the afternoon to the sea, which held me until I grew easy. Interestingly enough, I cannot swim. I just love being next to the ocean, walking along the beach and seeing it in all its different forms, you know. Sometimes it's lovely and calm, and, you know, in the spring sometimes it looks like we're abroad somewhere. Beautiful. And then at other times when it's stormy and pounding and ferocious, you know, I think it really does align well with emotions and the way that they can change, and especially how they can change, you know, with the aspects of the moon as well. Anyway, that was a little aside, as I normally do. I get sort of go off into little streams of consciousness there. Anyway, this is an octopus, obviously, and it says the Minoan octopus vessel is opening your heart up to the mysteries of the water, and they are indeed mysterious, aren't they? They're frightening, they're scary, they're welcoming, they're soothing, they're everything. Okay, back to the meaning of the card. So the Ace of Cups is called the Waters of Life, and the key phrase is I am tender, and the myth centres around a difficult birth. The baby was so large, the birthing was really difficult, but eventually the baby entered the world. And this child was a chimera, so it was half human and half bull. He would never be seen as normal to others, but for all these women he was a son, a brother and a nephew. The birth was sacred, and they all knew they would forever love him. And then we have another quote over here. In one drop of water I found all the secrets of all the oceans. In one aspect of you I found all the aspects of existence. And that's Khalil Gibran. Okay, so let's have a little look at the rest of the suit. Okay, so the court cards in the cup suit are the priest, the priestess, the god, which is Dionysus, and the goddess Ariadne. So we finish with the two main characters of the myth. Well, this truly is a beautiful deck with many, many layers. We have the labyrinth itself. So on most of the cards, that labyrinth does appear, which is nice the way it ties it all together. I love the colours. The colours are so beautiful. They're so vibrant. Absolutely gorgeous. And then there's sort of like little hidden elements here that add to the meaning of the card. I mean, here we've got a turtle, what looks like a turtle necklace on the Nine of Cups. So this is showing, you know, turtles have quite a journey, don't they? You know, to try and survive in the first place, they've got to scuttle down the beach and try and get to the sea before they're eaten by birds. That's just the first part of their journey. So I think this is nice the way that sort of aligns to a Nine of Cups energy. You know, this isn't our first rodeo. Yeah, so there's little bits and pieces like that. We actually have got the fish here in the Priest of Cups, which is interesting. A little nod there to the Rider-Waite-Smith. Purple, like colours. So here, purple, that would have been very difficult to actually find or reproduce that colour. And so it would have been highly prized, and maybe just a priestess would be someone who could actually have access to purple. So yeah, there's all sorts of little things in this deck, little layers which help. They do really follow the Rider-Waite-Smith tradition in the Ace to 10, as I've said before. I mean, look at these vibrant colours. They're just everything. Absolutely beautiful. The deck is a deep dive if you want it to be, and the book actually gives you so much information, and if it's something you're interested in, then obviously you could do some further research, because it does have a bibliography and it does have some references in the back there. There is a nice stepping off point if you wanted to actually go a little bit deeper into the myth of the red thread. So, Ariadne and Dionysus, half bull, half man, and a love story really, especially in the cups. And so that's my little take on this beautiful, beautiful deck, and the way it's aligning to everything else I'm looking at this time. The Sea Witch's Companion and this Circe novel, which is brilliant, by the way. It's a great perspective, and yeah, the Red Seeds Tarot itself. So that's my little walk through and deep dive, if you like. I am going to go a little bit deeper, and thank you very, very much for all these little extra goodies that we find in the deck and in the box. Oh, look at that, it's even got the labyrinth on there. Isn't that beautiful, with the red string? I love these little touches. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, friends, and until the next time, bye.